in a little while we're going to be talking to Def Leppard's tour manager, Stumpus Maximus, and he's going to be telling us a little bit about the staging and the production of In the Round. And of course Joe and Sav will be back much later on. Def Leppard Sunday on MTV, and the Headbangers Ball is bringing you everything you ever wanted to know about the band but never had the chance to ask. And we will be back with Joe and Sav a little bit later on, but right now I'm joined by somebody who is one of the many permanent members of Def Leppard's road crew, who ensures that everything runs smoothly for the Def Leppard tour machine. And this is Malvin Mortimer, otherwise known as Stumpus Maximus, who is the tour manager for Def Leppard. So welcome to Headbangers Ball, Malvin. Thanks for joining us on our Def Leppard Sunday.
It's almost a great pleasure to be here.
Thank you. Now tell us, how did you first get involved with Def Leppard?
In 1982, in the summer, I was working for a band called Pretenders. You might remember those.
Indeed.
And the lighting designer for that band was going to be the lighting designer for Def Leppard. His name is Faye McMahon. I'm sure he'd appreciate the plug. And he told me that Def Leppard, this band, were a great up-and-coming young rock band, and they could do with somebody like me. I didn't understand why, but I went along and went and met Steve and Phil, and got myself a job as guitar tech for Steve Clark.
Great. And you've done lots of different jobs over the 11 years, haven't you?
No, since then, I didn't actually start work until February of 1983, when I was a guitar technician. And I've been the guitar technician right up until January the 8th, 1991. Is that right?
Yes.
When Steve Clark died. And then I was working with the band in the studio. I was the guitar technician, the administration person, the chef, but I was without a road job.
Right.
And the band surprisingly offered me the job as tour manager. I hadn't a clue how to do that job, but the one thing I did know is that they wanted me to do that job, so I was kind of flattered by it, and went into it and said yes, of course I'll be tour manager.
Great.
But I had no idea how to carry out the duties, but I've learned since.
Learned the hard way. The band seemed to keep the same people around them on the road, you know, for many years. How many permanent members of the road crew are there?
Well, between 1983 tour and 1987 tour, there were probably maybe about 10. Between 87 tour and this current tour, there are me, the sound engineer Robert Scoville, the monitor engineer, almost human being, Phil Wilkie. Apart from that, I can't think of anybody else that has been with us throughout from 1987.
Right. Okay. What's your favourite thing about working with Def Leppard on tour?
I get free haircuts. No. My favourite thing was always the camaraderie which exists between somebody like me who works for the band all the time, and the other people that come in, because they have an idea about the band and they don't really know what the band is like, but they always come to me. Oh, you're an old soldier, you're an old stalwart, you know, and you know what they're like. What are they really like? And I enjoy being the person that people come to and say, oh, what shall I do here? How should I approach this? And but usually it's okay. They usually find out for themselves after a while that it's not a big problem.
Right. Okay. Now, very quickly, can you tell us a little bit about the staging and production of the In the Round, like how long it takes to set up and so on?
Well, it's a very difficult setup. It's unusual for every building that we go to that they don't have it on a regular basis. So we have a head rigger. His name is John DeLong. He has to do lots of advance work and tell these people exactly what's going on, because in some of the buildings in winter time especially, there's snow falling. So if they agree to let us hang 80 or 90,000 pounds of equipment, then they also have to consider that if it snows that day, the roof might collapse with all our equipment hanging from it. But basically, it takes up the whole of the centre of the arena, with enough room for kids to be either side of it, but either end of it, but not either side of it.
Right.
There's 95,000 pounds of lights and sound up there. There's probably about 50,000 pounds of stage, which everything travels with us. It takes about when we started out, it took 10 hours to set it up. Now the crew are all used to everything, and bar the trouble from unions, we can get it up now in about 7 or 8 hours. And it used to take 3.5 hours, 4 hours to take it down. Now it takes 2.5.
Right.
So as the tour goes along,
Gets
things
smoother and
things get
smoother.
lubricated. Yeah,
Right.
and it comes down, goes up quicker and comes down quicker. But on average, I'd say 8.5 hours to go up, 2.5 hours to get down.